Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can perform a G-test, also known as a likelihood ratio test of goodness of fit, using Microsoft Excel and my stikpetE add-in. This add-in can be found on my GitHub account. Here's the link. Once you downloaded it, you can open Excel, go for File, Options, Add-ins, and then click on Go. Then go for Browse, and then go to the downloaded file. If you don't want to use my add-in, I have a separate video on how you can do this without my library or my add-in. This video will focus on how to obtain the values, not so much if you should be using this test or perhaps should be using a Pearson chi-square test. Also not so much on how to interpret the output, just to get the output itself. Once installed the add-in, there is a function available known as TS, short for test, and G, and then GOF for goodness of fit. It must have data as its input, and that should be a specific vertical range. So don't select an entire column, but really select the range specifically. That can include missing values, so if you have like a blank in there, that's fine, but it needs to be not the entire column. If you like, you can also specify the expected counts you have. In that case, you'll need two columns, one for each category, one column with the categories, and next to that then the expected counts. It's not necessary, and the function will assume that you expect the counts to be equal across the different categories. There's also an option to use a continuity correction, either Yates, Pearson, or Williams correction. It will return a 2 by 8 column range, 2 rows by 8 columns, with the sample size, the number of categories, the statistic, the G value, or actually a chi-square value, the degrees of freedom, the p-value, the minimum expected count, the proportion of cells that's below an expected count of 5, so the number of categories in this case, and the small description of the test that was actually used. So to see it in action, I've selected here my function, and then A2 till A1942, so quite some data in there. And once I hit enter, it nicely gives me all this information. The E minus 245 means that I have to divide this by 10 to the power of 245, so this is extremely low p-value, far below the usual threshold of 0.05, so I would reject the assumption that all categories are equal in the population, so they're probably not. The minimum expected count was 388.2, which is actually simply 1941 divided by 5. And that's well beyond the usual threshold of at least 1. And the proportion of cells that had an expected count below 5 was 0, of course, because they all had this expected count. And that's how you can use the stikpetE add-in to perform this test. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching.